सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual something. Good morning. I'm out for my walk, back to my daily routine. The walk in the woods, which is one of the favorite parts of my day. Taking a walk in the woods and speaking with you guys, reflecting, and just breathing in the air, feeling all the nature around me. I know it sounds so hippie, but it's so true. I just love being out here. Sometimes when I was a kid, I used to imagine building myself a little cabin in the woods, becoming a hermit. And on that note, actually, I wanted to talk about association. So while a part of me has a proclivity to isolate, the better part of me knows that association is the biggest thing. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. The association and fellowship. How important it is for advancement. How important it is to grow. You know, being in a group setting with people who have the same goal, getting closer to God, shedding all those layers of conditioning that we have, talking about that, realizing that, and almost the most important thing is encouraging your fellow, being their champion, giving that to someone else, giving someone a platform, seeing the potential in somebody, and encouraging them to walk that path. And not only encouraging them, if you have the means, give them a platform. You know, when I came, the two things I love about a 12-step program and Bhakti, being with the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they both see potentials in people and they give a lot of room to take responsibility and to grow. And that's something that I think people who were brought up in dysfunctional families or highly critical families, or we just have a highly critical voice inside of ourselves, that's vital for our spiritual growth. Vital to be around people who will encourage us, give us the platforms, be our champion, offer us, and then after that, we offer that to someone else. And the deeper I get into the 12th step, which is having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to others who are still suffering and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. That is the that's sort of like when the ball rolls. It's the beginning and end point. Once you've hit that 12th step, and once you start living that 12th step and giving to others in service, it goes deeper and deeper. And the deeper I go into the 12th step, the more that I realize how much grace and mercy that I've gotten from people who've believed in me. And even more so than I've ever believed in myself. You know, all of those conditionings that I had as a kid, whether it was told to me by my parents, I don't even know where they come from. Whatever it is, there's a voice inside of me that says you'll never amount to anything. There's a voice inside of me that says you're not good enough. There's a voice inside of me that says you can't ever achieve what you want to achieve because you are not I don't know, disciplined enough. You're not lovable enough. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not thin enough. There's all those voices. There are those voices. And the more I stay in recovery and the more I'm around people who counteract those voices, the more I listen to the positive voices. It's so important. It is so important to be around the people that when you start to fold and say, I resign to the fact that I'm never going to get better than this. And have people behind you and say, that is a lie that one of your conditionings is telling yourself. You can go further. You can keep evolving. You can keep having deeper spiritual awakenings, going deeper and deeper. It's the most important thing. This is what I'm coming to realize. I've surrounded myself subconsciously with people who are negative. People who don't believe in me. And not only have I surrounded myself around that in the past, I listened to them. And I took that on as my own voice. This is something I'm very aware of. Something that I never ever want to do again. When I see that people in my life say you can't, you're not good enough, even if it's not in direct words, or try to take me into their negativity, I just won't go there anymore. And how did I learn this? I didn't learn this from my logic. I didn't learn this from logically everyone knows just, if you hang, it's like, it's a very logical thing, but it's so cunning, baffling, and powerful. It's a logical thing to know that the more elevated people you hang around with, the more positive people you hang around with, the more positive you become. It's not bad. It's not that I logically came up with this. I experientially came up with this. This is my experience. And my experience, I'm willing to share with others. And that's how it works. The importance of Sangha, the importance of showing up. People, I cannot tell you more and more and more. I cannot tell you louder. I cannot tell you more often. Sangha, Sangha, Sangha. Show up. Suit up. Be there for yourself, for others. This is the greatest service that you can do. We've got like 18 meetings a week. I don't even know how many people listen to this podcast. I have no idea. But I encourage every single one of you to show up to a meeting. If you like what I'm saying, I only got this by the mercy of other people. This is not me. I am only a meat puppet that is repeating things, not only knowledge, but experience. Be a meat puppet. Do it. Life gets so much more beautiful, especially when you realize that those voices inside your head aren't you. And that so many years, maybe some of you, have been listening to those negative voices. I have. I was surrounded by negativity. I lived in negativity. I practiced negativity. I became a ball of negative energy at some point. Who wants that? Coming out of that is a long, long process. But today is the day to start. Today is always the day to start. Right now, right this second. If there's a willingness, right this second. Right now. All we have to do is one thing. Be willing. That's how we start. Am I willing to get those negative voices out of my head? Am I willing to just do that at first? There's going to be a lot of work after that, but the very first is when you get that little voice inside of you saying, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me right now. I'm not sure if these are the right people around me right now. And talk about it with someone else. and then sort of suss it out. But the very first step is just be willing. And there's a very peculiar thing that happens, a magical thing that happens when you start to become willing. Doors that you never thought were there are not only there, they're opening. If you open the door of willingness, miracles happen, magic happens. And even within those miracles and magic, sometimes there's some pain in there. But it's part of the whole package. That's what I've learned. When I invest my time, my energy, my willingness, when I start to invest that, and I'm really wanting to, and I'm praying to Krishna, he will reciprocate. Sometimes it might not come in the form that we want it to come in, or what we imagined it to come in, but it will come. This has been my experience. This has been the experience that I've had over and over again. Suit up, show up, and be willing. They're so easy. Suit up, show up, and be willing. Even if you don't like it, if you know, I think there's a deep voice inside of us that knows what's right. Always. There's a deep voice. You know, I've learned a big lesson lately. I mean, I think I've always known intellectually, but experientially, I've learned a lesson lately. That by criticizing others and holding on to any kind of resentment or anything that I have against them, quote unquote, or that I'm not fond of, all of those things are literally something that's going to affect me, impact my spiritual life in a negative way. And what is my spiritual life? That is my life. I have to be more compassionate, not only with others, but with myself. Not only with others, but with myself. And how do we do that? We start to be willing. When I start to get in my head about someone who's not acting the way I want them to act, I'm not talking about huge resentments. I'm talking about just like differences. And then being like, how the heck does this person have anything that I want? Or how are they an example when they're acting like this? Oh my God, that person could be helping someone else, and they probably are. Allowing, staying safe in the knowledge and in the experience of my Sangha, of the people that I include in my life, staying safe within that, allows me to stop criticizing. Criticizing is just fear. Fear is something different. When I'm criticizing someone, I'm just in fear that either they're damaging someone or damaging myself, and it's basically just ego-based fear. That's all it is. I mean, within, if we're talking about psychopaths, that's something different. I'm talking about within the regular realm. And even with the psychopaths, actually, what the heck do I know? I know nothing. So, yeah, this is a really shorty, but I feel like I've said what I need to say. And I'm really hoping that it came across. What do we take away from this? Surround yourself with people who are going to tell you what you've been yearning to tell yourself for years. That you're good. You're inherently good. Surround yourself with people who will empower you and say, I believe in you. And I have so much faith that whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to get there. You're getting there. Encouraging people. And not only that, be that person. Be one of those people. See the best in people. Shine that in the light. It's so important. I'm just starting to realize how important that is. So thank you guys. Even though I can't see you, it's just strange. Even though I don't see you, I don't know who's listening, I feel close to you guys because I feel like I'm able to just share. And that's magic. And I'm hoping that someone can receive something from this. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.